Alright, we just have to work backwards now. We're going to be given an equation to fill in, and they're going to show us the graph which we use to fill in our equation. So literally this point of inflection right here is going to be HK, which I'm going to fill in right now. G of x says, hey, this graph went 2 to the right, which is going to look like a minus 2 within our equation, and 1 up, which is going to look like a plus 1 for our k. Now, I want to make a guess at A, but then we're going to plug it in and figure it out. Looks like the very first time I move right, I went up 1, 2, 3. So my guess would be A equals 3. Well, let's go ahead and test that out. Let's go ahead and plug in a point. Let us plug in 3, 4 and see what A is. 3, 4. So my output would be 4. My input would be 3. And we'll solve. So we got 4 equals A times, well, that's 1 cubed, which is 1 plus 1. And if we subtract 1, we will in fact find out that our A equals 3, much like we predicted just by looking at this graph. So if I plug in a 3, here we go. We got G of x is equal to 3 times x minus 2 cubed plus 1, and that is the equation of our line. Okay, we're going to come over here, and it looks like this one was given to us with just a B and no A. Alright, so it's a specific equation, right? We're not filling in A for everything or B. They're going to tell us what to fill in. Once again, this is going to be our HK, this point of where the line kind of changes its path right there, which is going to give us this. It's going to give us G of x equals 1 over B. Then I'm going to say x minus negative 4, which is going to be the same as saying plus 4, so that means 4 left. And then plus 1, or 1 up. We can see where that point is. Now let's go ahead and make a guess at our B. This time I'm going to go the opposite direction. The first time I go up 1, my B looks to be only gone over 1/2 from negative 3 to 0.5, negative 3.5. So I'm going to make a guess that my B is equal to 1/2. We're going to go ahead and plug in a point and see if it's true. I'm going to adjust this a little bit. So let's plug in a point that they have. They have the negative 3.52 point. So 2 would be my output over here. That's my G of x equals 1 over B. And then we'll say negative 3.5 is my input plus 4. That quantity cubed plus 1. We'll start by subtracting 1 from each side. Gives us 1 equals 1 over B. And here we go. We'll add these guys together. We can work from the inside of these parentheses out. So we have 1/2 cubed. And now we can take our cubed root like this. Cubed root of 1 is just 1. And this would give us, well, 1 over 2b. Alright, if I multiply both sides by b, this will cancel out, and we'll get b is equal to 1/2, much like we suspected right there. So let's go ahead and write that equation. We're going to plug that b in here as 1/2. So we got, no, I can write it up here. G of x is equal to 1 over 1/2. We got x plus 4 cubed plus 1, and that 1 over 1/2 just flips over. So the final one is G of x is equal to 2 x plus 4 cubed plus 1. Remember, this still does 4 left, 1 up, and a horizontal shrink of 1/2, which is what we see happening. We'll put a little box around that guy right there. Now there are 2 more on this side. I'm going to deal with at least one of them. Alright. Or maybe I'm not. I think this is the same stuff we've been doing. There's no flips or turns. There have been no negative A's or negative B's. So I'm going to leave you guys see and D to figure out the equations and then talk about in class. Do not skip these. You should be able to pull them off. I'll see you guys tomorrow.